Good morning, my dear students, and once again, welcome to this new chapter, new lecture, unit number 20, as per the book, and the title is Dilemma. And subtitle of this lesson is A Layman Looks at Science. From the title itself, you know what is the theme of this lesson. A layman is a person who are not expert in particular subject or a particular field. A common man looks at science is the title, in simple words. So this is the outline of this lecture: introduction, the writer's information, then the science, war, measure to control pollution, and important terms. So this is actual lesson. Lesson is very long and it has a great impact on the students because there is always confusion. Who is responsible for the destruction of the world, or what science gives us? Is it advantageous? It is disadvantageous? There is a lot of confusion. There is a lot of debate is going on looking at the science. So in August 6, 1945, the day the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, brought home to all of us in a dramatic fashion the significance of science in human life. The impact of the bomb has left us stunned and confused. Certainly, we laymen are frightened by science, as we are never before. And certainly, too, we are bewildered by the power which science has suddenly placed in our laps. Bewildered and humbled by our realization of how unequipped we are in terms of ethics, law, and government to know how to use the science. So the writer here asks, and in the first paragraph, give the example of dropping an atomic bomb on Hiroshima. So before use of the atomic bomb, science was very, very useful. Nowadays it is also useful, but what the writer wanted to say that before Hiroshima event or destruction, science, everything, everyone, and layman especially, common person think that science is very helpful. Science was very helpful to uplift the lives of the human being. But after the atomic bomb on Hiroshima, everything has been changed. People are afraid about the science. So science has a very great power to destruct something. So that is the confusion among the common man, that what is the use of the science if one bomb can destroy the some particular region of the country or the countries, then what is the use of the science? And that, I think, that is the first reaction of layman to the stupendous repression of the bomb on Hiroshima. And the first question that comes to his mind: what use are radio and automobiles and penicillin and all the other gifts of science if at the same time this same science hands us the means by which we can blow ourselves and our civilization into drifting dust? On one side, science has given automobiles, penicillin, radio, which are revolutionary things for the human development. And the other side, science also gives the power to destruct the civilizations or to destroy the countries and the cities. So, what is the use of the science? We have always seen inclined to think of research and technology as being consciously related to human welfare. Now, frankly, we are not so sure, and we are troubled, deeply troubled by the realization that man's brain can create things which his will may not be able to control. So definitely man's desire and humans' desires are not controllable. To the layman, it seems as if a science were facing a vast dilemma. Science is the search for a truth, and it is based on the glorious faith that truth is worth discovering. So, what is the duty of the science? To discover discover the truth, and find out. It springs from the noblest attribute of the human spirit, but it is this same search for truth that has brought our civilization to the brinks of destruction, and we are confronted by the tragic irony that when we have been most successful in pushing out the boundaries of knowledge, we have most dangerous the possibility of human life on the planet. The pursuit of the truth has at last led us to the tools by which we can ourselves become the destroyer of our own institutions and all the bright hopes of the race. So, in this situation, what we do, curb our science or cling to pursue of truth and run the risk of having our society torn into pieces. So, writer asked the question that if the science is giving such kind of power which can destroy anything, shall we curb the science or take the risk of having our own society torn into pieces or give a freedom to the science? The writer has not suggesting anything. He has asked or raised he he raised he raises the question in the mind of the reader what to do. Shall we restrict the science to find out the search or to curb our science? What to do? So it is in the basis of this dilemma. So this is the basic of the dilemma, what to do. We will see in the next paragraph. Now, the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were the detonation of two atomic bombs over the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on 6th and 9th August 1945 by the United States. The two bombs killed between 1,29,000 and 2,26,000 people, most of whom were civilians, and remain the only use of nuclear weapons in an armed conflict. So this is actually image. So left picture, at the time this photo was made, smoke below 20,000 feet above Hiroshima, while smoke from the dust of the first atomic bomb had spread over 10,000 feet on the target at the base of rising column. So 20,000 feet above, the smokes were there. 6 planes of the 509 composite group participated in this mission. So what was the destruction at Hiroshima and Nagasaki? You can imagine that. Raymond B. Fosdick in the lesson The Dillema says that science should be used only for constructive purpose, not to be aimed at the degeneration of the society. August 6, 1945, a day of unfortunate on which the atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, brought home to all of us about the significance and importance of science in human life. Mankind was frightened by the science and bewildered by its enormous power. This instance has realized the mankind how unequipped we are in terms of ethics, law, government to know how to use it. The author says that science is based on truth and should spring from the noblest attribute of the human spirit. There are certain inventions that can evoke both positive and negative responses. Invention of radio, automobiles, penicillins, radar, and jet propulsion shall be aimed towards the betterment of the society rather than creating ugliness and dissolutions. The gift of science, the author vehemently feels, should not blow our civilization into drifting dust. The research and technology yield right fruits when they are related to human welfare. Science is the search for a truth, but it is the same search for truth that has brought our civilization to the brink of destruction. The writer strongly feels that research shall be subject to some kind of restraint if it is not linked to human constructive purpose. It is really disheartening to read about that leading scientist associated with atomic bombs saying that one should not hold back progress because of fear of misuse of science. Fosdick then says that some inventions are purely accidental and the scientists never had any evil intentions while discovering them. For instance, Albert Einstein never thought of atomic bomb while working for his transformation equation in 1905. Yet, from this come out one of the principles upon atomic bomb is based. Similarly, sulfur drugs and mustard gas, which are offshoot of German dye industry, was not created to deal with either medicine or weapons of war. Willard Gibbs was a gentle spirit whose life was spent in his laboratory at Yale University, had never dreamed that his research in the mathematical physics might have even a remote relationship to wood, world to World War First and Second. These discoveries are a classical example where the gift of science can be used by evil men to do evil men, to do evil even more obviously and dramatically than can be used by men of goodwill to do good. The author concludes that towering enemy of mankind is not a science but a war. Science merely reflects the social forces by which if it is surrounded. When there is a peace, science is constructive, and when there is war, science is prevented to destructive ends. Our problem, therefore, is not a bomb, is not to curb the science, but to stop war, to substitute law for force and international government for awarely in the relation of one nation with another. He feels that our education should be based on tolerance, understanding, and creative intelligence that would run fast enough to put an end to the evil effects of the science formally. So science must help us, but the decision lies within ourselves. That is, the role or responsibility is of human being. Now this is the end of the lessons, and at the end of the lesson, the writer feels that it is the responsibility of the human being that to use the science for positive things for constructive purpose. So some of the important questions which I am going to deal and discuss with here. So what is the scientific dilemma in which the layman life is linked to? Science is the search for truth, and truth is worth discovering. We have been successful in widening our knowledge, but at the same time we have put ourselves into danger. The life on a planet is in danger. The scientific dilemma is whether to risk the human life and go ahead in finding out the truths, or to control the science in order to protect the human's life. So what is the dilemma we face with regard to science when we hear about the destructive nature of science and research? So science can be used in both ways, constructive and destructive. We face the dilemma when we hear about the destructive nature of science. We tend to ask our scientists to distinguish the truth that furthers the well-being of mankind and truth that threatens us. We are in doubt whether we could ask the scientists to foresee the result, good or evil. So who is responsible for the destructive use of scientific invention, science or people? Scientific invention can be used either for constructive or for destructive uses. People are entirely responsible for which way it is used. Science gives the outcome of its research. The gift of science can be used by evil men to do evil more obviously than they can be used by men of goodwill to do good things. So some matching words with synonyms: wonderful, stupendous, careless, irresponsible, cruel, callous. amazed, stunned, exceptional, unprecedented. Thank you very much for watching and listening to me. And here is the end of this lesson.